What's going on, guys? How is everybody today?
Good.
Fantastic. Good
Good.
morning.
We need some theme music coming on here. I think everybody needs some theme music as they're walking down the street, making sure it's all good. Hey, adjust my camera here. So, guys, I have my man Kevin Hildebrand from Cincinnati, Ohio, and Missy Stone from Cincy, and then Dianna Caldwell. You're working Cincy and Northern Kentucky, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so we got our Cincinnati peeps online with us today, and all three of you guys basically have been with EXP for about how long? I mean, if you guys want to kind of go around the robin here, Kevin, starting with you, how long have you been with EXP?
We ended December, so basically I think our license transferred because of the holidays and COVID like January 1st. So
Okay.
almost 10 months.
All right, great. And I know Missy, you were shortly after.
Yeah, about a couple weeks behind Kevin. So officially, I think middle of January.
Okay, awesome. And then Dianna, how long have you been with us?
So I joined in March.
March. So you're the newbie, the fresh one on the block.
Yeah.
Well, good. So the idea here was, we were talking and we wanted to kind of share some of our insights as to, what we thought the transition would be like, what EXP, what the goal was when we all made the switch. And what it's pretty funny when you start talking to people after they've joined EXP, a lot of the reasons why they joined, came true, but there's a lot of other benefits and other things that have happened that were kind of surprises after the fact. So I wanted to kind of chat with you guys a little bit about that. And we thought, what the heck, let's go live and share with the audience. And because we had asked these questions a lot, it might be able to add some value to somebody that's on the fence thinking about joining. So that's kind of the goal today. Kevin, so you want to go ahead and start out and, let me know what was your biggest surprise after you joined?
I would say the amount of support we received from the brokers. I was probably nervous, being a cloud-based company, that we wouldn't have answers to some legal questions as we were making the switch and implementing some new systems. And the broker support has been absolutely fantastic. And there's a couple different ways to access the broker. You can do it through workplace chat, email, EXP World, and if come to find out, EXP World, you walk up to their desk and it's interactive, but we're talking to a live person in live time, and we get our questions answered within seconds and minutes, rather than sending an email and waiting or hoping somebody's in the office, and if they're not, then going to plan B. So the broker support has been above average for sure, and that was probably my biggest fear. What if I have a question, a legal question, a contract question? Who can I go to? And we also have all the people in the network. The amount of collaboration and sharing has been tremendous, something like we've never experienced. The amount of help we've received from fellow EXP agents. So I knew I had that as a backup, but the broker support has been A+, 10+, etc.
Yeah, that's been a very interesting change when you start thinking about that, because I always thought, wow, I had great broker support. I was a broker. I had an office for 10 years. I wanted to be there, be accessible to my agents. But there were a lot of times where, they'd have to wait, 6-7 hours to hear back from me, or if I was on vacation or, not in the offices with the family, you kind of turn your phone off for a little bit. The greatest thing about EXP is, I guess going back to what you're saying, is I thought it would be less interactive, less accessible because, we didn't have a broker right down the hallway. But it's the opposite. It's more accessible because of the technology and the fact that these brokers that's their sole job, is to assist us with the details that we need, not running the brokerage business and all the other things that a broker does in a traditional brokerage office. That's pretty interesting. How about you, Missy?
So, to tag on to what you guys just said, I would say that would be my number one thing as well, of a surprise. You just mentioned there's always someone available. We have 3 brokers available to us in Ohio, and I don't care if it's 10 a.m., 10 p.m. It doesn't matter what it is. Anytime we've sent a message, it's literally minutes when we get the answer, which is pretty impressive, I think. Not only that, but whether that's sending a message or going into the world, I don't know if they take shifts, but it seems like 24/7, one of them are always on the line, ready to help. But you guys kind of covered that. The other thing that I really like is a little more freedom with your marketing. Obviously you have to stay within the guidelines of Ohio. You have to comply with certain color schemes with EXP. But, we came from a brokerage where everyone was in the same box. Everybody's sign looked the same. Everybody's marketing materials looked the same. And that was super frustrating to us, Shane and I on our team, because you want to make yourself different. You want to put yourself out there in a different way. And I feel like EXP really gives you the leeway to kind of brand yourself in a new way, which is pretty exciting to me.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's one of the biggest challenges that people think are the biggest fears is that will they lose their brand, when they switch over, and it's kind of the opposite.
Yes.
I think it actually promotes, and Glenn was so smart when he founded the company. He wanted it to be so agent centric that top agents couldn't not come. They wanted to be here because of that fact. And for me, I was a broker before I had sold out. Then I was an agent underneath the brokerage for 5 years on a non-compete. And I didn't really want to be a broker again. And, for all the reasons that I didn't like about the brokerage, there were several things that I loved about being a broker. But, the back end stuff was not something that really excited me. So it was kind of cool that, coming on board, like you said, being able to promote myself and be my own brand. I could be the broker without being the broker, if that makes sense. And I had all the benefits of the brokers that I liked, but nothing that, the other items were, I didn't have to deal with, which was kind of nice. Yeah. How about you, Dianna?
Well, I'll piggyback on the broker support just for a second. We're licensed in all 3 states, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. And I can tell you in all 3 states, it's been the same. It's been great broker support and immediate, whenever you need something. So that's definitely a positive. And then going back to the branding, with us, we just took our brand that we already had established and took the balloon out of it and put the EXP in it. And really, our branding still looks pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you too, I was really surprised that clients they didn't really care that I wasn't at that, big company anymore. When I called clients to let them know we were making the move, they really even didn't realize what company I was at. They just had their houses listed with me. So that was a nice surprise that was not going to be an obstacle I had to overcome. And since March, any listing appointment or buyer's appointment we've been on, it has not been an obstacle at all.
Yeah, it's funny. So I had the privilege of, I started out with a independent when I was 21 years old, worked there for about 6 months, and then purchased a RE/MAX franchise. I was just young and dumb enough to think that we could do this. Sometimes when you're younger, you take more risks. But I was scared at that time, but I didn't really have a lot of clients, so it wasn't as big a deal. And I thought, oh well, if they don't know me from my previous brokerage, it's not a big deal. And then after the RE/MAX was over, sold it out to a different brokerage, a Realty brokerage, Better Homes and Gardens. I had already had that experience where I had switched once, and I knew it wasn't going to be a big deal. People didn't care if I was with RE/MAX, an independent, Better Homes and Gardens. So I switched, and of course had the same experience that you had. People don't care, and that's where. But here I'm coming from that experience, and I had that in the past where it didn't concern me. But a lot of people like you are very, very concerned about that. And the brokerage, I guess the broker model kind of fosters that to kind of make sure the agent feel like they have to be. Their business is coming from the brokerage as opposed to themselves in a lot of ways. And it's surprising to me how many top agents still have a little bit of concern about that when they switch over. So that's great that you were able to have a great experience afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
A funny story about that. I called one of my listings. It was $1 million listing to let him know that we moved companies or that we were going to. And he said, "What are you, Keller Williams?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Remax." And he said, "I don't care what company you're with. Are you still going to sell my house?"
Right.
That was his response. So
That's exactly right. Well, good
yeah.
stuff. Well, Kevin, I know you had a couple things you wanted to go over. Anything you want to talk
Yeah,
about?
piggybacking on what Diana was just mentioning too, though, we are at 66,000 agents now, and we are now global. I think 17, 18, 19 countries now. So to me, on the listing presentation, when I'm being interviewed, 27 years, and I still get drilled like it's my first week by sellers. I share that we're global now. We have 66,000 agents. I think I've had 7 EXP incoming referrals already this year, and that's better than being with a local independent brokerage where, I know they have affiliations in that, but when we send referrals, we send them to EXP agents and EXP agents in Arizona, and I've gotten one from California. I've got one from Las Vegas. So EXP has been a good listing tool for me, even though it's not Coke or Pepsi yet, but I think it will be shortly. It's on its way to being a national brand, and so I've used it already. Starting out was worried nobody's heard of EXP, but man, there's a lot of EXP signs in Cincinnati now, and a lot of co-op showings are EXP now. So I've used it as a benefit that
Yeah.
we're a big company now, and we're a global company, and quite frankly, I don't know how many agents Remax or Keller Williams has, and I don't know that the seller knows that. But when I tell them 66,000, they're impressed with that.
Yeah, it will. And that's the thing. I mean, we're definitely in the top 3 or 4 at this point and closing very quickly with our growth.
Yeah.
I think we'll surpass Remax by, in a short period of time. I'm thinking by the end of the year at the growth rate that we're going, but you never know. So that's great. Good. So obviously with the agent count and the local agents, we want to talk a little bit about that. I've had agents tell me, yeah, I met a few EXP agents early on, and they're not really the kind of agents I want to group arms with, and that's just the reality of it. I mean, we're here to give you the real deal, be very transparent, and in some of our own concerns before we started, and it was very much a concern of mine. I think with any kind of early adopters and any type of new business model or platform, you have people that jump in that are huge risk takers. And I think some of the early agents that jumped into EXP were kind of get rich quick kind of agents. They were, hey, I can go over here. I don't sell a lot of real estate, but I'll go over here and maybe I'll take advantage of the rev share opportunities and the equity and things like that. And I think they approached it not the right way, professional way. And, since then, that's all kind of washed its way out. I know in the Dayton, northern Cincinnati market that I'm in, you have top quality agents, and it's just such a good, it's the offering so good for agents like myself and you guys that it's hard not to come to EXP. So it certainly waters down, and some of those agents that maybe weren't the type of agents that we wanted to lock arms with early on have kind of washed out, because it's not a great get rich quick thing. This is a solid business model that we are selling real estate the way we've always sold real estate. We just make more of the commission, and it's more efficient. And then we have 2 other options to benefit from with the wealth building and the agent attraction. So it's kind of an exciting platform. But Missy, I wanted you to kind of weigh in on that. Is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I kind of just what you said is really nice. I worked I'm 14 years in, and 13 and a half of those were with the same brokerage. It changed names once, but I stayed with the same brokerage. And in that time, talking about rev share or anything like that, we had a program where if I brought an agent in, maybe I made a couple % off of them or something. So I think over the course of time, all those years, I may have made a few $1,000s in some kind of a referral base. I can make that in a year off one person, that I bring into EXP. So, and it doesn't take any money out of my pocket. It doesn't take any money out of their pocket. So the business model where you can just build wealth still doing what I love to do with real estate, selling real estate every day. But then as a side note, I'm also helping mentor other agents coming in and also making, revenue off of that. And then just the stock option is huge because, real estate, you don't really have a lot of retirement 401k, but with the EXP plan, they're really trying to help you save for your future as well, all while just doing what you do every day, selling real estate. So I think that's a really cool model that's no one else has that I'm aware of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's certainly some copycats coming on board because they see how effective it is. But at the same time, EXP is a little bit of a unique individual with Glenn Sanford and the fact that he's a technology guy. We are a technology company that happens to be in the real estate space, and he set it up perfectly for that. So that's a good point. Dianna, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, what I'll add to it is I really didn't have any preconceived notions because back in January, I didn't even know what EXP was. There wasn't a whole lot here in Northern Kentucky. I think there were 17 EXP agents when we came on board. And last time I looked, there were mid 70s. So it's grown that quickly here in our area. So I didn't have those preconceived notions. I saw great agents coming over, like Kevin and that sort of thing. And I'll say too about the just the culture of EXP. This is a great example of it. As soon as I came over, Kevin messaged me, and then we ended up getting together, and that's been great. Just getting to know people that are doing great in the business and that are in the business, and at EXP for the right reasons.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest surprises to me, and we talk about this all the time. What I guess I'm switching my banners here. For me, we made the transition because I was, and people have heard this probably a million times. I was in a room, with Jay Kinder, Al Stasek, Michael Reese, and 30 of the top agents in the country, and we mastermind together for 7 or 8 years, and every year we would solve the current problems that were, threatening our teams. And everybody had different teams in different markets, so we could be very open. But we weren't really in a financial alignment together. We were certainly in alignment with solving problems for self-preservation, and we were friends. Well, that was great, and it was very effective at the time. Every year, the same problem came on board, and that was, how do you retain top talent for your teams? Because as a team builder, you would help agents get going. You introduce them to your database. They would get going. You teach them great. They're rock stars. Of course, you're a great teacher, so they're up and running and doing a great job. And then ultimately, you'd lose a few of them because they're like, why would I want my own brand? I'm a rock star myself, and I'm going to go out and do my own thing. And that is the natural attrition of a real estate model with the traditional model like we were running. Well, the reason why I give you that background story is the reason why we joined EXP was we wanted to offer the opportunity for our team members to not really ever have to go anywhere else for a good opportunity. And that opportunity was to create wealth and create a passive income. So we set out to create this own internal opportunity that Al and I worked on for a long time. And we were getting ready to pull the trigger when Al called me and said, "Hey, have you heard about EXP?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." "Well, let's look at it." Well, it checked all the boxes and then 100 more. So we made the jump. We did it for our team. We did it for our guys and gals that work with us because we wanted them to basically have the same benefits of the real estate business that we were doing on the side within the real estate business, meaning we were buying rental properties, trying to create passive income outside of our traditional sales. And we wanted our agents to be able to experience some of that, yet they didn't have the capital to invest it yet. EXP comes along and it gives them the opportunity to do that with the equity share and the revenue share. Well, I talk about this now because that was why we joined, and it hit the spot. It's still an awesome deal. We can talk about some of those benefits that here in a minute. But what was the biggest surprise to me was that I didn't put as much importance on the collaboration and truly being financially aligned with all these top agents around the country, how that would affect my personal business and my personal team. And it's amazing. Like you said, you just mentioned it, Dianna, here you are collaborating with Kevin, who you probably didn't know that well before. And, you're not even in the same downline. We're all honey badgers, but we're not, there's no there's no reason for us to do this other than we're all in it together with EXP. We want to see EXP grow. We want to share. It's an abundance mentality. And I just think it's fantastic. So that in and of itself, that cooperation was probably the biggest surprise to me on how it affected not only my business, but my teammates' businesses. Kevin,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Definitely. And when I see quality people like Dianna join, I know that it benefits all of us, not her, not me, not you, but it benefits all of us. And the more quality people that join EXP, whether they're affiliated with us or not, is irrelevant. But having the best of the best is fun to be associated with, and there's a lot of sharing, and that's been really, really beneficial to our entire team. You know, hey, we can reach out to other people under the EXP umbrella with questions, and everybody shares. We're not threatened by each other. We're not worried that oh, we're going to give away our secrets and all that. It's a lot of top people that just want to do good and want to help each other. And it's been the fire that our team needed. We were very, I guess, stagnant, and we needed, the rest of my team, I think every single one of them would agree with me that this was the best move we ever made. It energized us. It gave us a lot of tools, a lot of technology, and to be able to log on every day and listen to watch a video, listen to a podcast of Jay Kinder or John Kitchens or some of the top people in our industry teaching we used to have to pay for that. We used to have to fly to conventions and seminars to hear the top agents talk. Now we could get on a Zoom call with Jay today if we needed to, you know. So the amount of exposure to people that are doing things that are cutting edge in our industry is right at our fingertips every day. And that's been fun. That's been exciting for sure.
Yeah, I always tell my son, I don't have to worry about it too much with my daughters, but my son's super social, and I'm like, man, show me your top 5 friends, and I'll show you where you're going to be, you know, relative to your success. And you know, it's the same thing with athletics. You know, you want to play better golf, you play with better golfers. It sucks you up. Same deal with our industry. If you want to be the best in the industry, hang out with people that are doing a lot more business than you and are doing business the way you want to do business. And that's a huge thing. And that was my biggest surprise. How about you guys? Anybody else have anything that was kind of a big surprise for you?
Well, just really what Kevin was saying, and in the Honey Badger group too, that I think we're all a part of, we got a referral in that group the very first day we were added to it. And there's just so much sharing and stuff that goes on through there too.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So what do you think, you know, obviously, Kevin, you know, your Cincinnati is slowly changing. The market was kind of a traditional market back in the day, kind of dominated by traditional brokerages. We've had several top agents from other companies that were ready to pull the trigger, and then kind of got that Compass model where they come in and, you know, kind of, you know, basically, you know, kind of coerce them to stay for giving them incentives and things like that they essentially have to pay back. But what's your thoughts on the overall market in Cincy? Are you seeing things shifting, or is there any trends that we want to talk about?
Yeah, I think we're all learning that we, the agent, provide all the value to our clients. The brokerage support is less than it used to be. And agents want to be more independent, and the newer people entering our industry they're sharp. You know, there's some super sharp young people in our industry, and they're treating it as a business, where I think in the past of our industry, a lot of people treated it like a hobby a little bit. You know, I'll get my real estate license and I'll help my friends and people at church, you know, et cetera, and that's shifting. I think our industry is getting a lot more professional. And the young people in technology and social media and all that is driving that. And I was behind on all that stuff. You know, I'm the old guard now. I'm 53. So I'm like trying to keep up with the young guys with technology and social media and all that. And so, for us, it was just the right place at the right time, and it's the best move we ever made.
Yeah, it's interesting when you talk about the speed of information. I remember, putting the cassette tape in my car to listen to Kevin Hildebrand on Star Power and learn as much as I could. I mean, but I had to wait every month. I'd wait for that mail to come in. And, this was in the late 90s, early 90s. And, I look at my younger brother, who's about 14 years younger than me. And, I'll call him on a Saturday. What are you doing? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm changing the motor out of my, furnace. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like our dad didn't teach us how to do that stuff. And he didn't go to trade school. He was on YouTube, right? He's just out figuring it out. So he's a millennial. So it's a different way that people process information, where they get their information. And quite frankly, and that's exactly, you hit it on the head. We are not, we do not need the broker per se for the things that we needed the broker for in the past, because that technology has enabled us to get it elsewhere very inexpensive. And it's no crack on the traditional broker. It's just the way things have changed. Just like we don't need a VCR anymore because we have streaming video. And I think that with all of us, with the way real estate's going in the future, and I've said this a million times, if I'm going to hitch my horse to a wagon, I want to be on the one that's going to be competing with the Zillows and the Redfins of the world. I want to be technology cutting edge. And I don't have to know how to take my computer apart, but I got to know how to work it. And same thing with a car. I'm not going to know how to fix the Ferrari, but I want to know how to drive the Ferrari. Not that I have a Ferrari, but my point being is I want to drive a Ferrari, not a Yugo. And I think that's where we're at with this. And it's an amazing opportunity. People are getting plugged in. I know Tony Mitadero from Chicago, he was hardcore Remax. He bled Remax, red, white, and blue. And for many years, we were friends. He started several Remax companies, merged them. And, I think he was just kind of like where we were. He's so focused and doing his thing. And he made the switch over, and it's been incredible for him. He's like, man, I didn't realize all this stuff was out there. I didn't realize what I was getting was the news channel that I was, being kind of told or spoon fed. Whereas there's all this other stuff out there that I think people are now gaining access to. So pretty exciting stuff. I know we've been going here for a little bit. Is there anything else you guys want to share? Anything else before we hop off?
I think on the technology side, just kind of what you said about everything we have to offer with KV4, with marketing supplies. In the old traditional brokerage, you have to go to the broker, use the marketing department that they provide to you to do what you want to do. Everything's at your fingertips, and I'm not the techie one. Thankfully, Shane, who sells with me, is techie to do all of that. But the user friendliness of what is out there is just amazing. Even a dinosaur can pick up and go in and throw in a couple pictures, and wow, you've got this great marketing material, and all of that's free to you as an EXP agent. So I think it's just an amazing resource, whether you're a new agent or an older agent. It's resources that like we've never seen before.
Yeah, you make a good point. That is, they have made it's like an iPhone. Why is an iPhone so successful? My grandmother uses an iPhone. Well, it's because it's so intuitive. It's easy, and that's exactly you log on to Enterprise, which is our agent dashboard, and you have access to everything right there. The world. You pop in the world, and I literally had to go to a broker meeting in Indiana. I'm licensed in Indiana. And they had a topic, and I popped in the broker auditorium, and I walk in, and I haven't seen a lot of these people in 10 years that used to be with Remax. Now they're with EXP, and I'm sitting next to them in an auditorium. Of course, I'm in my home here, but I'm in the world, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, Gaydash? How are you?" I'm like, "Oh man, I haven't seen you." It's the craziest thing ever, and it's so easy that everybody's using it. So that's great, good stuff. I wanted to mention one last thing. We tend to think people always know about some of the revenue share and the equity piece of this, but it's worth us talking a little bit about before we jump off. So with EXP, you have a very efficient platform. I always give the analogy, like Uber. Kind of, if I was a person that wanted to drive a car, 10 years ago, I'd have to go work for a cab company, and that cab company would have to have the cabs, the technicians, the dispatch people, the building, all that kind of stuff. And then Uber comes along, and they don't have to have anything. It's just a technology platform that allows a guy like me to drive my own car and pick up a person like Kevin that maybe needed a ride. So it cut out all that expense. That's pretty much what EXP has done. And because of that, they're able to give more money back to the agent. people ask me all the time, how can you be sustainable? How is it going to be? How can this really work? It sounds too good to be true. And this was all before it was proven. I've been in it 3 years, and now people don't ask me that anymore because they know, that we're a $3.9 billion cap, and as opposed to Realty, who has, Caldwell Banker, what are their Century 21, Better Homes and Gardens? I mean, you name it, Sotheby's, and they're they've got a $1.9 billion cap. So you could tell the difference in how successful EXP has been and how quickly it's grown and how sustainable it is. I just got a check in the mail, Kevin. I don't know if you guys had for dividends. I mean, literally, Glenn Sanford, it's making so much money. They literally just sent out dividends. They never promised that. That was nothing that I thought would happen, and the check just showed up, which is pretty cool. So I go back to understand, to work for EXP, it's a more efficient way. So therefore, you're going to keep more of your commission. The equity, which is the ability to purchase stock in EXPI, which is the mother company, at a 5% of your total income that you earn. So if you made $100,000 this year, you could take $5,000 of it and purchase stock at a 10% discount. I wanted to talk real briefly about that for you guys. You can purchase stock like that, and stock is awarded to you when you get milestones. There's 4 ways of earning stock that EXP gives you stock, actually. That's when you recruit an agent or you attract an agent. That's when you close your first home of the year. It's when if you hit icon status. I mean, there's really awesome ways that they're literally giving you stock to work here. And then obviously you can purchase it with the 5% of your revenue that you earn. Have you guys seen your balances grow since you've joined in such a short time?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what that looks like in 5 years.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, I've got 3 agents on my team that over a couple $100,000 in stock just from this opportunity and how, like you said, Kevin, how that compounds and how it just grows. So don't discount. I just look back on all the years that I worked and, with Remax and then with Better Homes and Gardens. And I've got a couple trophies around here. I'm in my home office because we're still renovating the main office, but I got a couple trophies to show for it. But like Al always says, I can't take that to the bank and cash it. They don't care. So the equity is a huge piece of doing the same thing you're doing every day, nothing different, but you're just gaining this wealth on the side. And then lastly is the agent attraction. That's been a wonderful opportunity for all of us. That simply means when you like where you work, think about how many people you guys probably brought to your previous brokerage because you liked working there or you wouldn't have worked there. Well, you tell people when they say, hey, how's Caldwell Banker? Or how's Better Homes and Gardens? Oh, it's great. You should come talk to my broker. You probably did that anyways, right? Natural attraction. Attraction happens naturally when people want to be like you or like what you're doing. And that's pretty much what we do with EXP too. You cannot join EXP without being sponsored. So when you're out there and people ask you about EXP, you can tell them about it. They join, and next thing you know, you get a little bit of the action that they're paying EXP, and it doesn't cost the agent anything, which is amazing. So I know, Kevin, you've had some really good success. I know Dianna and Missy, you guys are ramping up. Is there anything you guys want to add to that?
It's going to be much easier to sell now that we've experienced it firsthand in a year. So, I was all in immediately. It's kind of, I know there's that expression, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it makes sense. It's the future. It's like, I've told a lot of clients, I basically left Blockbuster Video and went to Netflix, and that's the only analogy you need. You can't go to Swallens or Kmart or any of them stores anymore because they're gone, Sears. But everybody uses Amazon, and we're kind of the same technology base as Amazon, and we're able to do more things and provide better service. So there's just so many upsides, and now we can confidently tell fellow agents, because a lot of agents are inquiring with all of us, right? So, but now that we've been in it and we've seen it, we see how much we have in stock now. We see what we've accumulated revenue share. We've seen the feedback from our clients, and we're 30% ahead of last year. So our business is doing better. Our retirement's doing better. Our team's doing better. Our attitudes are better. It's just been a win for us.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome to hear. And that was the whole point of our conversation. I wanted to, be transparent if there was anything that was a challenge or, and also talk about our wins. Real estate's such a, it's a stressful job. People don't really get it until they get in it. And it's always great to celebrate the wins. And, I wanted to thank all you guys for coming on today. Look forward to working with you in the future. And if there's anything we could ever do for you or anybody out there that's watching this, reach out to any one of us, and we'd be happy to kind of tell you a little bit more about, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and maybe help you grow your business,
anytime.
get set up.
All right. Appreciate it.
Great.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Sounds like a plan. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.